Ray Dickey from South Carolina, CAI, Hudson Valley CAI Association Help Now. We are in a lot of different states. I appreciate you being here. I love these manager panels because they are so, I feel like they're very relaxing, not a lot of pressure. I mean, Dave's a lawyer, but I don't have to like battle with a bunch of lawyers to get them to do their answers really quick. I feel like we can actually slow down a little bit. And sorry about my voice. It's a little bit still off. Before I go any further, I'm going to launch a poll. If you are here for CEUs, I need CEUs. I cannot tell you how important it is when people use the questions and send me comments and send me questions. I just love it. It just makes the program so much more enjoyable. And I can't tell you how many times it changes the program and we go in a different direction. So I really would appreciate that. With that being said, let me have our panel introduce themselves. And Tom, I see you first.
Hi, I'm Tom Engblom. I'm a regional sales officer for First Citizens Bank, cover 8 or 9 states, teach nationally, and currently in the panhandle of Florida, trying to stay warm.
I wish viewers could come on before we go live, Tom, because this is what Tom told everyone on the panel. And Tom's a friend of mine, okay? He had to do something with a garden hose as a kid. He was telling us how hard he had to when he was a kid. He had to go out in the snow and it was 50 below zero. Okay. I think he said he has no shoes. He had a party when he was 9 and he charged people to come. He was a 9-year-old entrepreneur. I could be exaggerating here. He had to feed horses with like some kind of garden hose, but it was like really far and he had to like drag it. And he was just basically had this like brutal lifestyle as a child. And it was like, you said what, minus 50. Tom, is that close to what you were telling us?
Close except for the age. I was a little bit older than 9.
All right. And everyone on the panel was just like, Tom, I think you're exaggerating, but he could be true. Tom is pretty amazing. All right. Rebecca, you were there, right? You were a witness.
I was there.
Okay.
The wind chill was 50 below, I think it was.
Oh, well, always Tom's like a friend of mine, so I can just exaggerate everything. All right, Rebecca, please introduce yourself.
I am Rebecca Burks. I am a portfolio manager with Town and Country. We service all of South Carolina, and I work out of the Greenwood office.
Awesome. Nikki.
So, hey, my name is Nikki Google. I am a portfolio manager in the Columbia area. I am with CAMS Management, who services North Carolina and South Carolina.
Mark.
I am Mark Fitzpatrick. I am a on-site community manager for Carnes Crossroads, which is in Goose Creek, South Carolina, just outside of Charleston.
Okay, so really quick, just so we get this out of the way, you might have talked about it a little bit. Rebecca, how many properties do you manage and what size are they? Just give us a quick rundown so we know where you're
I manage 9 properties, and they range from 30-some units to 400.
Hold on a minute. Did I have Dave introduce themselves or did I skip Dave?
You skipped me, but it's okay.
Why didn't you say something? We do so many live streams together. I think
all I was gonna say was it's Nikki Google spelled G-U-G-E-L, not G-O-O-G-L-E.
Correct.
Okay. Now you and Tom are on fire today. I'll tell you. Okay. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, sure. Dave Byrne. I'm the partner and chairperson of my law firm's community association practice, and Silgram and Aaron, and we represent HOAs, co-ops, and condos in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Dave, also really quick, somebody sent me an email and they believe you were eating beef jerky during yesterday's live stream. Is it true? Were you eating beef jerky?
No, I was eating conversation hearts because it's close to Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Those little candies, would it say like call me and hold my hand, that kind of nonsense? So those they only come out one time a year. That's what I was eating.
Okay. Somebody thought you were eating beef jerky. Getting back on track here. Sorry about that. Nikki.
Yes.
Your properties.
So I manage 13 properties, and they range from 23 homes to 1,900 homes. I got a high rise in there and a couple smaller condo buildings, and then the communities we're going to talk about today too.
Awesome. And Mark.
So I am at a master plan community that is under development. There's about 1,300 homes right now and be 3,500 when all is said and done.
All right. So I thought it would be a fun way to start is to kind of like poll the audience. What I did is I did some research and there's 4 items on here. And 3 of them are as true as they can be when you find things on the internet. But these seem like legit association amenities that I looked up. And I'm going to quiz everyone to see which one they feel is not the true one. So I think I'm on the 3rd one here. So I'm going to launch this poll. And your choices are, which of these is not true, audience? Which is a made up amenity? Which one did I make up? Is it cold plunges? Is it climbing walls? Is it rooftop tailgating? Or is it archery? Which one of these amenities I made up? The other 3 should be true. They absolutely should be happening. So is anyone doing the poll? What's going on with my poll right now? So no one is doing the poll?
It went on and off real quick.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay. The poll didn't launch. All right. Let me see what happens really quick. If I can get it to launch again. I don't know why it would do that. So sorry about that. Let me go back. Having difficulties today. Oh, you know what? It won't let me launch it once it's been. Oh, maybe it's here. Okay. Well, okay. Audience, you're just gonna have to send it in through the question feature. In the meantime, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what the technical problem was. Which one, Dave? Really quick. Let's go through. Which one do you think is fake? Cold plunges. Archery. Mark.
I was gonna say archery because yeah, shooting arrows seems bad idea.
off a rooftop.
Nikki.
I think the climbing wall.
Okay. Rebecca.
Rooftop tailgating.
Okay, Tom, did you do your homework last night? Because I handed this over to you. Which
Yes,
one
I
is
did.
fake?
The cold plunges.
Absolutely not. You did not do your homework whatsoever. And I even know the place that has cold plunges. The fake one was climbing walls. Believe it or not, I did find an association that had archery listed as an amenity, and rooftop tailgating. Nikki, that's you. I'm shocked that people didn't pick that one. So why don't you tell us what is going on?
Yeah, so one of the properties that I'm the manager for is located directly behind Williams-Brice Stadium here in Columbia.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a 60 unit condo building, and their rooftop are cabanas where they utilize to be able to tailgate during the University of South Carolina football games.
I want
Now,
to move there.
they cannot look into the stadium, but they're right there next to the caucabooses, right there in the middle of everything. So it is definitely a fun environment come football season.
And a lot of people get loaded and they get drunk, and getting out of the parking lot. I've visited the location.
Yes.
And there's actually a video that Nikki is in talking about it, but we don't talk about this part. But this is a super duper party atmosphere, right, Nikki?
Yes, it is. It's like I said, people enjoy themselves fully. Part of my job is the vendor management. We have security teams on site to make sure that the right people get in and the right people get out, and everybody has a good time while they're there, and keep it safe and fun.
And this place is like party central, just so the audience can get a picture. It's a rooftop. I think there's grills and things like that, right? Are there grills up there, or am I mistaken?
No, not on the rooftop. Fire marshal doesn't like that. But they are allowed to have their grills and their smokers on the ground floor. So every unit is one story, and then their rooftop is their cabana patio area. So most of the owners just keep their grills and smokers down on the parking lot level, and they grill out. They make hibachi, barbecue, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff going on that day.
And this, if it's okay if I say this, by all means disagree with me. They don't try to pretend they're anything but what they are. The living spaces, I remember, are beautiful, but they're kind of small. It's mostly meant to party, and not drive home that night.
Correct. So if looking at aesthetics wise, the way the condos are designed are very industrial, but like in a cool way. And everybody has them completely decked out in Gamecock, University of South Carolina. And yes, the majority of people do not live there full time. It is a weekend place where they can go and safely enjoy going to the games and tailgating. We do have a few full-time residents, which Obviously, as a manager, they're my best friends because they let me know what's going on and make sure the place is standing in the off season as well.
Dave, you seemed super excited about this. Was this something you never heard of before, or you kind of knew these places existed?
Well, I mean, Wrigley Field has that kind of thing, where you see people on top of the houses across the street. I think Fenway has that kind of thing too. There are all kinds of. I think Seattle football has a hotel and a apartment building where you can see inside the stadium. So Nikki's saying this one doesn't have inside views, but still pretty cool. Still pretty cool because with the college football thing, it's just atmosphere anyway. You can always watch the game on television.
Yeah, it's very cool because the stadium is really, you're right next to it, and the whole backdrop is, and it's a large stadium, right, Nikki?
Oh yeah, yep. And they're doing all kinds of renovations right now to it, so it's going to be even better probably when they finish next year.
Okay, and then Dave, I'm going to circle back to you and tell me what you think one of the most legally what one of the biggest challenges may be for them. Okay, because I want to make sure we do a good educational segment as we're going along here. Tom, have you ever heard of a place like this?
Yes, I've heard of it, and it just made me think of something else that a new trend that's been out there for a while is condominiums that support cars. I don't know what the name is, but they're high-end units, and people buy these and they have their cars in there and they live with their cars.
You completely just changed the topic. We weren't even done with the rooftop.
It was something different to think about.
You're so excited about those car condos. And I actually do know about them. There's one in Philly. Rebecca, what do you think about this? Are you surprised by this or did you hear about it or?
Well, the reason that I chose rooftop tailgating is I thought it wouldn't be accurate is because of, an open flame on your rooftop. So the fact that they're not allowed to have the grills and stuff on the roof makes perfect sense to me. And that they've got a place to stay and they're not driving probably helps. I am curious though, is that, so they just do it, it's BYOB, and so nobody is in charge of alcohol disbursement and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So the HOA does not provide any type of beverages or anything like that. It's all the owners providing that. What the HOA does provide is the security on site. They get, because they each have 2 parking spaces in their gated area, so they get car tags. And they're also given wristbands that they give to their guests. So that makes it really easy to know that the right people are on site. So that's what the HOA provides for the owners and the guests while on site.
So Mark, I'm going to swing back to Nikki and ask what her biggest challenge is as a manager for this environment in particular. What do you think Nikki's going to say? Do you want to take a guess?
Just the management of the people in general causing issues, especially if they're drinking. That always causes something to go wrong.
I think you're thinking what I was thinking. Nikki, if you don't want to share the name, don't share the name. People are asking me what the name of the association is. It's up to you.
I didn't tell them that I was talking about them today, so I'm going to
pass on it.
But if anybody has Zillow or Google, you can pull it up and take a look and find it.
Okay, so Dave, before I bounce back to Nikki to wrap this up, what do you think would be one of the biggest legal challenges, and what kind of advice would you have in regard to that?
I don't think there are any legal challenges. I mean, I don't, and no different than anything else you deal with in America, where people go and do things, they fall, and I mean, no big deal. Just it happens.
I was wondering if there'd be more of a emphasis on the association because of the environment, people having a good time, people driving in, people driving out. There is a lot of alcohol used there. Do you feel like an association has to look at those factors, or is that outside? Here where I live in the high rise, if you get drunk downstairs and you're not bothering anyone and you get in your car and you drive off, I don't think it's the association's problem, right? Big deal. You brought your own beer. Is that going to be the same here in this kind of environment? Or
we're not providing the alcohol, are we?
Not providing the alcohol.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like having a party. It's just like having, I mean, I don't see, other than just being, having some people having a nanny state tendency. I don't see how there's any legal issue here.
Excellent. So Nikki, what is your biggest issue? What is your biggest challenge?
I mean, I think Mark hit the nail on the head there. It's the people, and making sure that you deal with all kinds of different personalities. This is their fun time. This is a huge investment for most of them as a second home. And so just making sure that, the gate's working, there's not damage to the gate, the doors are working, security's on site, all that prep work that goes into making sure they have a good time on Saturday, and then turning right back around on Monday and cleaning up whatever messes were made to make sure that it's ready to go the next time.
And I remember, Nikki, you were talking about there's a lot of people that try to get in there for the parking because parking's at a premium. So they try to sneak in. So that's one thing you guys need to do. And you did mention, I think, that your gate gets hit a lot.
Yes. The gate is, knock on wood, we're doing good so far since the season ended. So hopefully we keep on that same trajectory.
All right. It really is an awesome place. And I'll try to remember to send people with the link where I interviewed Nikki on top. So is there any way you could hook Dave up one day, Nikki? If so,
yeah. If you're in the Columbia area, give me a call.
Really? All right. I'll keep that in mind.
We should go down there, Dave, and do like a live stream from Rooftop.
When there's a home South Carolina game, otherwise.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Nikki seems cool enough, but I mean, if South Carolina is playing on the road, I'm not sure it's going to work.
Yeah, we'll get the season schedules coming out. We'll
I want Tennessee or Georgia or something like that to be there.
Okay, so let's try another one. And this one is, the choices are going to be, I made up one of these. The other three are legit. An airport, beekeeping, equestrian, horses, or a marina. I'm going to launch the poll. Let's hope it works out this time. Maybe there's a problem with the poll system today. Okay, it's working a little bit. All right, so people think that, beekeeping overwhelmingly is becoming the one that people think is fake. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. I'm just going to call out what it was. 83% said beekeeping, and then airport and horses were a short percentage, and nobody picked the marina. I think everybody knows. All right, Tom, did you do your homework on this one?
If I'm correct, it should be beekeeping.
All right, you are correct. Did you do it because you did homework or you just guessed?
I did homework.
Okay. All right, we'll see. All right, so the beekeeping one is fake. So I'm actually going to, I guess everyone's familiar with the airports. Does anybody in the panel surprised that there's these airport ones? Okay, cool. And the horse ones are very popular. I didn't realize down in South Carolina they are. There's a couple. I've tried to get them to come on, but they're kind of like.
I actually have an association. They don't have beekeeping as an amenity, but they do have rules for it because there is a presence of beekeepers in there. So they have amendments and things that govern beekeeping in the association.
Yeah, I found a lot of associations that allow beekeeping. I didn't find any that had it as an amenity where they had like common ground being used for beekeeping purposes or anything like that. All right, so Mark, let me see something here. Did I use your thing? I didn't. Good. So Mark, you have something that's close to an amenity that's similar to horses. Why don't you tell us what it is?
Sure. So it is a master plan community, and we built a new amenity center with your typical lake house, pool, wellness center. And then the unique part about it was we had a farm built. So we have a farm store and 3 farmers that we hire, and they're farming 1 acre of land right now, soon to be 10 more acres next year. And they grow everything, harvest everything, bring it into the farm store, and then residents can come in and purchase all the produce that they grow. And we bring in a lot of other like shelf stable stuff, such as like local salsa and jams and jellies and candles. So there's a lot in there. It kind of has like a little general store vibe to it. And there's a big social aspect to it when we do volunteer days.
They will never rest.
Like just events and stuff around the farm, like in general, just teaching residents. And
so is the farm, I knew this may or may not be an actual amenity. I wanted you to come on anyway, though. What is it exactly to the association? What is the
Oh,
relationship?
so yes, so it is an actual amenity. The assessments cover that full budget, and then we actually give residents what we call farm bucks. So we give them these farm bucks so they come in and use that to purchase the produce. So they get an allotment each year to entice them to come in, and then of course you could also just pay for it as well.
And then Dave, I'm going to go to you on the legalities of associations getting involved with currency and people purchasing things and stuff like that. But I'm going to dive a little bit deeper with Mark here to give you. Mark, so the amenity portion is that the association subsidizes basically this operation. How does it work exactly? How does it work legally? Unless it's too complex to describe in the amount of time we have.
No, so the developer basically funded everything to build it. And then that first year, they did have to do a subsidy to cover that. And then this year in 2026, the assessments will cover the full budget this year. And that's the plan moving forward, is that will be covered fully by assessments.
And I think you told me you have a huge amount of support for this. The community loves it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, when we have events, I mean, we can have 300-400 people there. Like we'll have a blueberry festival and a strawberry festival. And I mean, residents just love it. They bringing their kids there, just touring it. And we have a little area that's kind of geared towards children where they can pick their own herbs and,
Man, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
You don't have any horses though, right? No livestock.
No
Oh,
livestock. No.
I wanted you to quiz Tom on horses because we're questioning his horse story. Tom, you have been around, you get around, you truly do all over the country. You talk all over the country. To me, this is a truly unique amenity. I have not, don't get me wrong, I've heard of residents having a little garden spot here or something, but I've never heard of an operation like this. Have you?
No, it's first time I've heard of it. Very unique, very interesting. It's great that they're going to expand it to 10 acres as the property grows. I think that very beneficial.
And I have like so many like legal questions about this, but go ahead, Mark. Were you going to say something?
There is a term for it now, Agrihood.
Agrihood. Dave loves terms. He loves the most newfangled terms because he likes to throw them around when he's with young people. So,
I
all right.
actually used to live in that area where Mark manages. I used to live in that area. And really that service is an outreach to that entire county, really the whole area. People come from all around to enjoy that area. So it's a beautiful area there. He's doing great things.
So anybody can come to purchase items there. It's
Yes,
not,
the store is open to the public.
All right. Nikki, are you surprised to hear about this amenity or did you already know about it?
No, I have never heard of anything like this. That is so neat. And with everybody really, I feel like as a whole society, we're really trying to get back to like our roots and farm to table and all that. Like to have that in your literal backyard, I think that's just a great amenity.
Someone is asking, Mark, is this something that the developer used as a selling tool?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. I mean, it is definitely a draw to the community of
Somebody.
bringing in that social aspect of, that lifestyle community. Now you're bringing in this like other social aspect to really tie in more activities for residents to do.
Mark, you've never been here. Nikki, you haven't been. Rebecca, I know exactly why Dave got up. He'll just get up right in the middle of the live stream. He doesn't care. He probably had to do something with the dog. He's a huge animal lover. Did you do something for your dog? I can't hear you because you muted.
I said, yeah, he's finished barking at the birds, so I want to come back in.
Okay. Dave will get up and do whatever the dog wants. All right. So Dave, man, like I can't ever see this happening like unless the developer set it up in the beginning. This seems so complex to me. And I could see so many like insurance, like legal pitfall questions because we could make everything bad, Mark. I mean, we could scare everybody about everything. I'm shocked. Like, how does this association manage this? Or do you think I'm making it more complex than it is, Dave?
Yeah, I think well, you're probably not making it more complex than it is. It seems like it's a, very unique, complex, wonderful thing. I don't know. I mean, legal issues arise from anything that people do in their lives. So it's, I don't know that it creates no more legal issues than it does to have something extra
Well,
provided at all. You know what I mean?
there's something weird with associations, or maybe this is nonprofit law too, but they can't make money, right? Or something, or there's a right, Dave. There's a line between what an association could take in from an operation like that.
Well, it's more like I think it's more like there's a tax implication. I mean, I gather anything raised by virtue of community activities is probably plowed back into the organization to offset, the amounts that are paid by owners directly. It's no different than having a bake sale and then, putting the $50 back into the till. And I mean, I don't see how there's any issue with that.
Well, I'm going to jump to Mark and he'll tell us the answer. But I thought like an association all of a sudden can't open up a store, right? I live in a high rise. So we have commercial units. So if this association decided to open up a store downstairs and make a profit selling goods and offset our assessments or make it to the point where we don't have it.
That wouldn't be a profit though. That's the thing. Well, how would it wouldn't be a profit?
Is profit, what I'm asking, is that the problem though for associations? Are associations allowed to have a business and make a profit, or is it only become an issue if owners start making money?
Well,
if they break even, is it good to go?
Yeah, the concept of profit doesn't really apply because who would get the profit? I mean, like, it's not like the board, if the board members are pocketing the money, well, then that's not a problem because it's profit. It's a problem because it's theft. But if the association's got a store, the profit there is no profit. It's money the association receives through another avenue beyond assessments and maintenance fees.
All right. So Mark, if you don't want to share it, by all means, don't. But how does this work? Do you guys make money on this? Because you said your owners are paying for it through assessment. So I assume it's not making money.
No. So any money that comes in, it does just fund back that budget to offset the farm. But it is mostly covered by assessments. It's not making a profit, you would say, no. But any money that actually comes in, right? It does just go back to funding that budget.
But Dave, what happens if their place starts making, it's the next hit, right? Nikki's over there every day and she's spending like $130 on pumpkins, and then Rebecca's heading over there and she's having a few drinks, brings her own wine. And this place starts making.
Why is Rebecca the one that has to drink and Nikki's the one that gets pumpkins?
That's my question.
Tom's over there like
I'm giving
telling
off the
people
wrong
how
vibe
horses
here.
work. Hold on, Tom, 1 second. And then I'll let you go right after me before I ask Dave. What happens if this place starts making $20 million a year and it starts making more money? It brings in more money than the association needs to put out, Dave. That's what I'm going to let
Oh,
Tom
that way.
talk.
So that's that's a different question then.
Right.
So they actually make more
Hold
money than they need to operate the association.
Hold the question. Tom, go ahead. Did you want to?
Well, no, I mean, the rule of thumb is it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's how much you spend. And as long as they equal out, you don't make a profit. So you could have other amenities that you could add to offset that income. It's a break even.
That's what I'm getting at, Dave. Please explain the legalities. If they make $20 million a year, can the association keep the money? Can they start not charging people assessments?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, or maybe, yeah. They'll put $15 million in reserves. I mean, they'll do whatever they need to do to avoid having overages. And if they can't do it anymore, they'll have to pay tax on it, I guess. I mean, the money's not going to get thrown into the river if it's too much. There just may be like a tax liability or something, and it may amount to no assessments for the next 30 years. And I guess that's, under your theory, that's what would happen. But it's not like there's a profit police guy who says you can't have profit. It gets plowed back into the organization, and maybe the owners will never pay assessments again. I mean, it's kind of like living in one of those countries or states where the citizens don't pay taxes because of oil revenue. They get money every month. They get a check for $50 in Alaska, I think, or something like that. They don't pay income tax. They actually get money because they get money. The state gets money from some other place.
So, Mark, what is your biggest challenge? Is there, and also, like, is there a negative aspect of this if you feel comfortable sharing? I mean,
I think the biggest challenge, and maybe kind of ties into kind of the negative aspect, is expectations of residents. So, growing your own food is very difficult. Number one, it's just very time consuming, and you can only produce so many things. And the way farmers like to do it is they want their product to be fresh. So, they're picking these things in the morning, bringing it into the store, but come end of the day, you could run out of some of these things. So that has been a bit of a learning curve for residents, that it's not the grocery store. It can't just be completely full all the time.
Is this
How
part of
is
your
it
job?
staffing?
Oh,
How
okay.
is it staffing, finding farmers?
That was very unique. Yes, we did use consultants when we first started the farm up, and they helped us find the farmers because, yeah, personally, I don't know anything about farming. So
Yeah.
we did have help to find the farmers.
Is this your responsibility as a manager?
Yeah. Yeah, so I do oversee the farm.
I thought Nikki had it the hardest, but I got to be honest with you, Nikki, you're just like partying out with people and everything.
Yeah,
and
I'm having fun.
Everybody's
like,
getting loaded.
Marty's working.
Mark is like a manager, and he's got to do all the other manager stuff. And now he's like a farmer. He's got to like, oh, the pumpkin crop needs to be picked at the next. There's a frost coming. Do you worry about frost?
Oh
Mark,
yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
do you ever go out there and do like work the farm and inspect the vegetables?
Yeah, so I'll walk it with the farm director, and we'll talk about like constantly like what is going on at the farm, what does he need, where are they at, because we're also communicating to residents what is growing, what's available, what's going to be coming up in a couple weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, you're constantly learning, talking to these farmers about, this crop has got some kind of disease on it and we're going to lose it, or the frost might hit this crop. And
Okay. And then
yeah.
last question, somebody's asking, what is your most popular vegetable or your most
Tomatoes.
tomatoes? Everybody
They
loves
are delicious. They are much better than the grocery store. I couldn't believe how good they were.
People ask, what do you do with the food that you can't sell?
Well, usually other team members will take stuff home,
Right.
or we'll
Do you
have
ever-
sales to get rid of it. And
Wow, you're like a super manager. Okay. You should go over to Nikki's and take a break every now and then. Have a few drinks, you know what I mean? All right. You just can't park there. Nikki will tow your car or whatever they do over there.
I don't know, the fall harvest. Mark might be pretty busy come football season. That's harvest time.
And when she's talking about her gate, by the way, Mark, it's not a little gate. It's like something like out of a prison. No, it's not. It's a little like it's a beautiful gate, but this is a substantial. They are serious about the parking when you pull in. They're not like messing around. So, right, Nikki, it's a pretty impressive gate.
That's right. Yeah, it's 3 gates. We got one side is a exit and entry that has 2 arms that open, and then the other side is a big gate that opens for exit and entry.
All right. Well, that was awesome, Mark. Thank you so much. All right. So let's do another one and then we'll bounce over to Rebecca. Tom, I feel like I'm ignoring. Do you have any more questions? I know you're an expert on horses from the age of 9 and garden hoses, but do you have any experience with vegetables?
No, I find it very intriguing. The question I have to Mark is how is it determined how much money that they receive on an annual basis? You said they get money that they can buy. How is that determined? What makes that up?
Sure. So yeah, they get farm bucks, and it's really just to entice the residents to really come in and utilize that space and purchase the produce. So we give them 150 farm bucks every year, and they can just come in and use that on the produce. And we just build that into the budget of expectations of how much we think that will be used by residents and how much we think we can grow.
After Dave and I are at Nikki's place and we're all loaded and everything, right? Can we get a car service and head over to your farm, and then Dave and I could play around in the farm a little bit? Do you have a tractor?
Yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah.
can have a tractor, take
Can
it
Dave
for a
and I come
spin.
over and play around with the tractor and play around with some of the equipment, farm equipment?
While we're intoxicated?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a great plan.
Okay, well, we'll leave that open. That's a maybe. Okay, so let's do another one. And This one is going to be, which one of these did I make up? Is it going to be ski shooting, meditation rooms, golf cart highways, or wine caves? And I believe that this is the second one. I didn't number the ones, so which wasn't a very good idea. I'm going to launch the poll. Which one of these did I make up? I did find the other ones and did the research on them. Ski shooting, meditation rooms, golf cart highways, or wine caves. Very, very quick. Rebecca, which one do you think I made up?
Meditation rooms.
Okay. Nikki?
Skeet shooting.
Okay. Mark?
I was gonna go with skeet shooting.
Tom? Well, I'm going to ask you last, Tom. Dave?
Yeah, I think skeet shooting. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Tom, did you do
Yeah.
your research? The audience says skeet shooting. Which one is fake?
According to my research, wine caves are fictitious.
I think you just did. I think you're doing your research right now during the live stream. I know you didn't do your homework. You said you would, and I don't think you did. And no, you're wrong. That's not true. And I know for a fact it's ski shooting because I know someone
Yeah.
that has the wine caves and some of these luxury high-rise buildings. So, Rebecca, are you surprised that which one did you say you thought was fake?
Meditation rooms.
No, that's real. I did find,
Yeah,
and
that's-
actually, I have been to buildings that have quiet rooms and things like that are meditation rooms. So I know that one's true from seeing it firsthand. We're missing, yes, Rebecca, we're missing out on, everybody's having a better time than we are. We're at
Yeah,
Nikki's.
we don't have any of this fun stuff, Ray. Like
Yeah.
we need to go on a tour and go to everybody else's association so we can have a little fun.
Yeah, you go to Nikki's, you get drunk, and then you go to
Yeah.
Mark's, we have some fresh tomatoes, and then you go to this other place and you hang out in a meditation room and just hang out. So anyway, so the one I made up was skeet shooting. Dave, are you surprised?
No,
Okay. All right, you would have guessed skeet shooting.
I did guess skeet shooting.
All right, Dave, I'm going to bounce back to you, hoping you could find a legal angle on these. Now, I was trying to give it to you kind of like loosely without having to say that, Dave, but let me just be I am looking for you to come up to a legal angle on any of these. Just whatever you could do, I would appreciate. Okay. And we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Rebecca, we were talking about a unique amenity. It's not one of these, but you're familiar with it. I've been there. Why don't you share what it is?
The Lake Greenwood Motor Coach Resort. They are a high-end motor coach resort. They have about 84 lots that they have there. Obviously, their board doesn't live on site. It's for vacations, but they do have an architectural review committee that will make sure that their concrete pads doesn't block the lake view from someone behind them. So they stay very, very mindful of that. They have an in-ground heated pool. They can lease those out to other people, so you can rent those out and do it that way. They have the HOA actually owns 2 of those pads or lots, and they have employees that do like a camp host, and they stay there and they will maintain like taking the trash out and that sort of thing. They created their own kind of infrastructure with their utilities, with all of the water, sewer, and then they now get they work with the local utility companies, and they get credits for those things that they kind of provided to the utility companies. So they have a lot going on out there. It's really different than anything that I've ever really been associated with before. But it's really interesting, I think, because they're very particular with the type of motor coach that they allow. They don't allow, you can't pull up in like a school bus converted. It's very high end, and they maintain that beautifully. Yeah.
Tom, are you in your journeys, and you really have been everywhere, have ever gone to one of these because with bank loans or anything?
Well, not with the bank loan, but I have been one with the neighbor. And as Rebecca said, my particular neighbor has a very nice motorhome, and his is probably on a lower scale compared to some of the other ones that come in there. I mean, it's just amazing what you see at this association that I've been to.
So Nikki, here's how, like, I've been to this community and I think people are not going to really understand how beautiful it is, right? These motor homes are, I'm guessing 500 to $2-3 million motor homes for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
These are not, like Rebecca was saying, you can't, they have strict rules on what you could drive in and what you can't drive in. Because they, like, just like any HOA, the value of the motorhomes and how they look and the feel for the community dictates the value of the community. And I think there's a playground there too. If I remember, Rebecca, there's a whole bunch of great stuff, right?
Yeah, they also have, the HOA owns boat slips there, and they own one for every lot. So they own 84 boat slips too that owners can lease. So that also helps generate some revenue to help offset their assessments.
Nikki, what do you think of this kind of community? You're not surprised about it. You're probably familiar with
Oh,
it, right?
no, I'm not surprised at all. And Lake Greenwood is a beautiful place to be. And I actually personally, like my husband and I have a travel trailer and we love to go to places like that too. So I'm just thinking like, wow, I need to add this to my list. It sounds like you can get away. But yeah, and I mean, like you said, there are people who spend more on their, motorhome than some of us like in our homes. So it's a huge investment. And I am not surprised at all to hear that there's a place where they can go and protect that to enjoy it.
You're all happy. Like, you got all excited when you started talking about your motor. You could tell, like,
Oh yeah, it's a great lifestyle.
you got all excited and everything. You're thinking of like vacationing in your motorhome.
Yes.
Can you back it up, or are you terrible at it?
Oh no, my job is to be ready with the blocks, so then when we get it right, like I put the wheel chocks under, like that's my job. I stand back. I have nothing to do with backing it up or parking it.
You said your husband, right? Is he any good at backing it up, or?
Yes, he does a very good job. There's minimal cussing involved whenever we park the trailer.
Okay, that's very manly. I don't have much experience. I don't even know if I could do it. Mark, are you familiar with these kind of communities?
No, I've actually never heard of that before. So yeah, that is interesting. It sounds like a fun community to live in there. I guess it's mostly vacations, I say, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of them. I got a phone call from one recently where the manager had left or something, or not this community, but another one in a different state. And they were trying to figure out how they were going to run the community and find a new manager, because there's a unique skill set with that. You have to, right, Rebecca, you hate to say it, but you have to know about waste, things, you know what I mean? There's a lot of government restrictions involved with that. You don't want to have an incident with the waste, vehicles that maybe don't make the criteria, that are just close on the borderline. Dave, what are some of are you going to tell me this is another easy one to run? No big deal.
I don't know. I don't know why the lawyers would need to be involved with this. What does a lawyer have to be involved with this on?
All you have to do is come up with like one legal angle of a
I don't know. They don't. Maybe I'd have to create what we call in the law a straw man. I'd have to make something up. Like, okay, if they don't let in people who have blue hair and green eyes, then maybe there's a legal problem. But I mean, there's no evidence that exists, that they're doing that. So why bring it up?
Watch how I do things. Okay, Rebecca, I'm privileged that Dave works with me so much, but watch how I work with Dave. Dave, I bring in a motorhome and the association denies me access because of the way that it looks. What are some of the pitfalls in that regard? And how does this parallel to other associations that have similar rules and regulations in regard to aesthetics?
Well, it seems like the regulations are created to maintain a certain aesthetic vis-a-vis mobile homes, and as long as the regulations and standards are applied in a non-unlawful discriminatory way, there wouldn't be any issues. But I gather that's what they're doing. So if some guy shows up with a mobile home and it is a school bus, like Rebecca said, I guess they'll take action, and the guy will then have to go to court and claim that the school bus really looks nice and the rule is bad. But I mean, this presents no unique challenges beyond anything else you'd have in that situation with any other rule that you would have to enforce. You know what I mean? The amenity and the wonder of the thing that we're talking about doesn't, they create like a separate kind of thing, separate kind of liability, it seems to me.
Okay, thanks. We got there. Kind of. See, Rebecca, see how hard it is? Everyone thinks it's so
Remain consistent across the board is what
Oh.
I got from that.
Unless you have a reason, not to be. Sometimes the associations, in my view, associations don't have to treat everyone the same. They only have to treat similarly situated people the same. So you treat people differently with reasons. There may be a reason why you treat someone differently, and that's okay as long as the reason is legitimate.
Nikki, be honest, are you impressed that I turned that into like a teachable moment? It was hard to get there. Dave made it rough.
I knew you could do it. I knew
I
you
know.
could. I knew you could do it.
Tom's not impressed. He's just been witness me for so long that nothing I do can impress him. Someone is saying that they do have skeet shooting range on their property. Would you be willing to come on? You don't have to identify yourself by voice. Do you have, if you don't want to, by all means don't. I am going to see if I could turn on your microphone here and see if it works. I enabled your mic. If you're interested in coming on, you may not even have a mic. The system may just show me that you do. The first name starts with, the initials are, the first name starts with T. So, but anyway, they said they have a ski shooting range on their property. So it ends up that everybody has just about everything on there. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you are there. Great. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. So you have a ski shooting range on your property?
Yeah, it's a shooting range, but there's skeet shooting available.
Is it part of the association property?
Technically, no, it's not. It's part of the club that's within the association.
Oh, okay. And does it cause you any headaches or anything as far as the association goes?
The noise from the shooting.
But the association doesn't have any role or responsibility in it then?
We don't. The club does. The club manages it.
And it's a good, healthy relationship with the ski shooting place or not?
No, there's a hate between the homeowners and the club.
I knew there was gonna be. I mean, like, I always feel sorry for the guy that has the shooting range for 80 years, and then they open up the development next door, and then everybody forgets that they said they were going to live with the guy. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Did you have any questions for Tom Ingbloom? Anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. It's much appreciated. All right. Thank you. All right. Any questions in regard to the, any questions in regard to the trailers or anything? Dave, anything else?
No.
Yeah. All right, let's jump ahead on this. I want to get some kind of like latest industry news, or if the panel or if the audience has any questions for the panel, please, by all means, send it in. So Tom, I'm throwing you on the spot here. I always like to ask the audience or the panel if they've heard any recent industry news. Tom, have you heard of any?
I just some of the industry news that's going on in the various states are all different. Actually, there's a big one going on in Florida right now where they're, it's kind of interesting. What they're trying to get approved is that they will not allow self-managed associations. And that's kind of got everyone wound up. They haven't defined what a self-managed association is, but they're trying to create a statute against that.
So Dave, what comes to my thought right away on that is I'm a group of people. We buy a bunch of houses. We all live in the same neighborhood. We want to pool our money together to pay for some common items or some common ground. I mean, how could the state come in and tell you can't do it?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what the proposed statute says, but I gather there are definitions of the type of things that it would apply to. So it may be certain planned communities with a specific number of homes.
They
have budgets of a certain amount of money, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Dave, they have the benchmark is $500,000 or more.
Yeah.
That seems discriminatory, though. Why would you be allowed to discriminate somebody based on the value of their homes compared to another group of people?
Well, everything's discriminatory. I mean, you're discriminating against people who want to drive 75 miles an hour and they have to drive 65. You're discriminating against them. I mean, everything's a discrimination. So it seems like the state would be allowed to make a law, whether it's would allow to make a law that certain communities that are responsible for certain amounts of money have to have professional management companies. That's probably legal for a state purpose. It would seem like it's a protectionist measure that large management companies would support. But I mean, I'm no Florida constitutional law expert, but I would think that's something that would be allowed. I think it'd be allowed in New Jersey if the legislature adopted it. We have all kinds of bills like that pending around now.
I see a lot of stuff in Florida about dissolving associations. Tom, I didn't find that one story. If you find it, just let me know. But I find a lot about Florida having some laws that people can get rid of their associations. I guess they're gonna have to figure out what they want to do.
But we have that's the available thing in most states. Termination of your association requires certain percentage of votes. Oftentimes, if not all the time, it requires approval of certain lenders, first purchase money mortgages, things like that. That's not unusual.
That seems almost impossible to make happen.
I mean, it's unusual that it ever happens. It's not unusual that it's available. I've never seen it happen.
I mean, I would imagine it would never happen for a large community. It may happen if there's 10 owners, right? One of these, there's all these small.
Well, yeah, as long as, it should never happen. It could happen with a community that was created simply for the purpose of rulemaking and aesthetics. Because the members could get, most Americans grew up in neighborhoods where there were no associations. If your neighbor decided to paint his house a different color, he painted his house a different color. You sucked it up. So any community that has an association because of common property, even as simple as detention basins, you couldn't get rid of that because someone would have, unless the government took over the infrastructure, like the road and the detention basin. If you had an association that was created to maintain a basin and a road, and then the government decided to make the road and the basin public, like every other type of neighborhood in the country, then there'd be no reason to have the association, I would think.
Okay. I actually did find it, Tom. Thank you so much for mentioning it. And there's a question from the audience I want to get to in a second. Senate Bill 822, if it becomes law, HOAs and condominium associations with annual revenues of 500,000 or more would be required to retain a licensed community association management firm, meaning those larger associations could no longer remain purely self-managed by volunteers.
Oh, by volunteers.
Yeah. So I don't know, Tom. I got this off the internet, so I don't know if it's accurate.
Well,
but I don't have a problem with this to a certain extent.
Yeah, but the hook is, depending on where you're at in Florida, there's many self-managed high-rises that they hire a CAM and put them on site, and they haven't defined. They're saying management company. They're not saying a proper licensed CAM. It's management company and CAM together.
Rebecca, I don't think a lot of people in our industry would be so set against this to a certain extent, because aren't we always shocked by boards that try to manage their own communities? And also unlicensed to a certain extent, even managers who don't have the qualifications, right?
Right. Yeah. What's crazy to me is that there are still associations that self-manage, whereas we have some associations that are like, this is just so much, and they just keep wanting us to do more and more and more for them. I think we've seen a push at Town and Country with a lot of associations wanting to get away from that being self-managed anyway, because they don't want that division between them and their neighbors when they have to say, pay your bills or clean your yard. So I think we're seeing a push for that anyway, just from boards.
Yeah, I meant, Nikki, I don't know what you think about this, but I would imagine too, if you have such high revenues that you want some kind of oversight, it would protect the owners to a certain extent. I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, having a manager helps protect everything. You've got that person who hopefully, knows what's going on and knows how to get the right lawyers, CPAs, accountants involved and get the right vendors on site. So yeah, it's definitely protecting their assets.
Mark, can you imagine? I mean, maybe they could probably do it, but why would volunteers want to run an association like your association, right? It would almost be extremely difficult. Do you agree?
Yeah, oh yeah. The amount of time they'd have to volunteer to do would just be astronomical.
Dave, you love big government, right? The more that government oversees associations, the better off. You're probably torn a little bit on this one, right?
Well, I mean, this is a private entity kind of thing. So, I mean, big government in terms of the government regulating how people can structure their own communities. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some level of annoyance there, but it's not a surprise that a community with taking in more than 500 grand a year should not be run by people that, aren't really, that are volunteers. It's not like it's a frat, where, you got a fraternity in college, you're taking in, 50 grand a year to have parties. I mean, it's like a serious operation. It's supposed to be. So I could understand why there'd be some push to it. And there must have been some issue in Florida. Somebody must have stolen the money, or somebody must have lost it. There must have been some association with a $600,000 budget that was run by a bunch of people who were volunteers and did something wrong. So
$500,001, probably. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
All right. This was a great question from the audience. Mark, I'll start with you. Is creating a budget for these amenities fairly easy or intense? Yeah, Mark, how do you guess Mother Nature for next year?
Oh yes, it is intense. A developing community in general, just trying to determine all these things, and then you got so many new people moving into the community, and then trying to create that farm budget with so many variables and moving parts, weather, and all these things. It is very tedious.
Is there like a standard, somebody's asking, is there like a standard budget tool that farmers would use? I mean, you must be using some similar tools that farmers would use in your job.
Yeah, like, I mean, they don't have like budgeting tools, I guess, other than just like our normal way we do like the HOA budget. But
I'm talking about, you must know that a certain amount of like vegetables are going to end up with waste, right? And you're going to lose a certain, is it the same every year typically? But I guess it's probably not. Maybe you do it on a 3-year cycle, or I would imagine farmers have a game plan in play that predicts the future, just like insurance companies would. Are you not involved in that? You must be, right?
We are, yeah. So I am. So yeah, we'll build out the whole calendar. The farmers will know what they're growing, and the different crops will have different percentages of like what's expected to be lost. And
now, Nikki, besides your gate that you talk a lot about, that seems to get smashed every other week, is your budget pretty straightforward?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's pretty much like any other condo building. We have to take into account, pipe leaks and, having a cleaner on site. Their biggest thing there is obviously their roof. 2026 is actually when their guarantee warranty expires. So now all those roof leaks that were warranted will now be under the association's budget. So that's their biggest thing. But we've got a reserve study, so we're just going to keep following it.
You're so on top of it. You really are. You're so ahead of the game. Okay, let me go to closing thoughts really, really quick. We don't have a lot of time. Rebecca, any words of wisdom or any commentary on what we spoke about today? Sometimes it's hard to go first when you have closing thoughts. There's not too much to add, but
I think just being an HOA manager and seeing all the different types of HOAs that we have is just making sure that we stay adaptive and really pay attention to what that association needs. When you manage multiple ones, you get, different needs, and staying on top of that, I think, is just the most important part.
Mark, your humanity was unique, 100%. Thanks for sharing it.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think, just the opportunity for managers to manage all these new upcoming styles of communities is great for the industry.
Nikki, your community was absolutely a terrific looking community when I visited. It really was clean and modern looking. It looks fantastic. I'm sure. And you seem like you legitimately enjoy managing it.
I do. That would be my thing. It's just have fun and be ready for whatever comes at you.
All right. I'm going to save Tom for last. Dave, any closing thoughts?
No, it's really, I mean, in a non-lawyer way, it's very interesting to hear all the interesting things that people have in communities. It helps to offset the more negative view that people have of communities that, with the conventional wisdom being it's a bunch of, Karens walking around and looking, trying to regulate how other people live, when instead in these communities, it's really a place to enhance the way you live. And people are choosing to live there, not because they can't afford to live elsewhere, but because these are the kinds of communities that they want to live in. So it's pretty neat to hear and see all these things.
Okay. Tom, you have the last word. Oh, before I forget, South Carolina Expo next week. If you're in South Carolina, Expo. It's going to be the biggest
see you
expo
there.
ever. Go ahead, Tom. Closing thoughts.
I found this segment very interesting, and I think that managers should think outside the box and maybe try to add additional amenities to their association to make it more conducive for people who want to live there.
All right. I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm looking forward to see people in South Carolina next week. And that is it. And thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.